I just wrapped up with a coaching call with a client who, really just opened right up and shared a lot of things about life. And we had a great talk. And one confidence opened up another confidence. And we just were sharing a lot of stories. And what came out of it was just the fear of not knowing and how to do something, how to make a change in our lives and actually, make a commitment to it, step toward it, and see it through without being perceived as a failure or, you know, having others judge or render opinions on what it is you're trying to do. That's a really big hang up for a lot of people. That's where I love the naivety of youth and just that exuberance when you're young. You don't really spend a lot of time thinking about that, I think, as you get to a certain age, anyways. And I wanted to share a story with you that I shared with him. It was just about my journey into real estate investing. I had no clue, guys, at all. Absolutely none whatsoever. I knew real estate was a great vehicle for building wealth and creating opportunity and leveraging yourself so that you didn't have to work and trade your time for dollars. I didn't know how to do it. And the story goes like this. I was working as a bank teller at the Royal Bank while in university. And I had a gentleman come in every Thursday. I'm going to date myself here, but there were velvet ropes coming into the bank branch. And people had to actually line up and have hard copy checks and deposit slips and things like that. Anyways, this gentleman came in and I started to see him frequently. And he would often come to my teller wicket and he would always have a fistful of checks. And because they were on a Royal LePage check, I just thought they were corporate checks or company checks. And maybe he worked for the office and he was putting them into a corporate account of some kind. What he was doing was cashing personal commission checks. And I didn't realize that until a little bit later after having some conversations with him. I still see him out there today. He's still extremely successful. But it was actually from that moment when it all clued into me, I thought, wow, those are personal commission checks. And he's literally cashing checks that most people could only dream of. He was putting tens of thousands of dollars into his account. And this is a while ago, guys, right? So maybe the light bulb went off and I thought, here I was going to university for my business degree. And I saw this gentleman coming in. He's what I call a silent assassin. He was just quietly killing it out there. He wasn't a big name brand face or anyone you would recognize on a billboard or, on the bus or things like that realtors do. Nonetheless, he was extremely connected and he probably got lots of referral business and he was very professional. He knew what he was doing. So I took all those factors and I thought, wow, this guy has really got something going. And it was about that time I was up late one evening and I saw an infomercial and it was called Building Wealth from Rags to Riches Through Real Estate Investing. And it was by a guy named Russ Whitney. And Russ was kind of your all-American looking guy, typical American business person. And he was talking about all the real estate investments he had made and how you can do it with no money down, little money down, vendor or seller take back mortgages, all sorts of concepts I had no idea about, but it sure sounded exciting. It sure sounded interesting to me. And one day he came to Toronto and he was selling this seminar. Well, I can tell you the seminar was $2,500. And at the time I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. But you know what? I felt so strongly about it. I went ahead and I paid the $2,500. And the neat thing is that I was allowed to bring a guest. So guess what, guys? When opportunity knocks, if you're not ready to answer, you're not going to get the opportunity. What ended up happening? I had to beg people to go. My brother wouldn't go. He was busy. He wasn't interested. I had several friends. They weren't interested. But, my brother-in-law, he was. And now he just published his book 2 years ago, The Accidental Millionaire, which talks about his real estate journey. It's a great read. It's by Roy Cleaves. Anyways, Roy and I ended up going to this seminar. We, long story short, became business partners and we forayed into the world of real estate investing with little to no knowledge. And what point I want to make to you about this video is just, you don't always have to know the how. That's, if I can't get anything else across to you from this little story, it's just set a goal. You don't have to know how to achieve the goal, but when you make a committed decision towards achieving that outcome, and you actually start moving toward it and taking steps and making decisions and making investments and doing the work, all of a sudden the universe is going to open up to you. You're going to have all sorts of people coming at you. You're going to have other people who are doing the same thing. They're going to know somebody. You're going to find out that someone else you didn't realize is doing the same thing. And this whole world opens up to you. And then the path gets really bright. You just need to see that one next step, as they always say. So my brother-in-law, Roy, and I, we went through this program. We graduated. We read our little book. We bought our first property. We literally fumbled, stumbled, bumbled our way through this whole journey. We didn't know how to be landlords. We didn't know how to cash rent checks or source tenants or the landlord-tenant board rules in Ontario, which are pretty extensive. We didn't know how to do evictions. But I can tell you, we found out all about those because we had non-paying tenants. We ended up having one tenant almost burn our triplex down, which is a three-level property. And through that process itself, again, we didn't know how to do these things, guys, but we had faith, confidence, and we were determined to be successful. And we kept plodding along. And before you knew it, I became highly proficient in the Landlord-Tenant Board Act, how to evict tenants, how to file the forms. I even represented us in court and had my little stint as a lawyer there, which worked out really successfully. We then became renovators because we took on the job of renovating the property and going through and being contractors and general contracting it, doing some of the work ourselves. And through all of that process, guys, it led us to bigger projects and different opportunities and more growth. So why am I sharing this story? Again, I just want to impress upon you, you don't have to be the expert right now. Like when you started riding a bike, you fell down, you scraped your knee. If you quit then, you'd never be someone who knows the joy of riding a bike or, doing anything, driving a car, boating, playing sports, playing hockey, skating, whatever it is. If you want to do it, just lean into it, step into it, fail as much as possible. I call it failing forward because you're going to take a lot of lessons away from that process and get a lot of growth out of it. And what ended up happening to me is the real estate took off so well, and my brother-in-law and I did so well that I quit my corporate job, got my real estate license to start sourcing my own deals and our deals together, and just to elevate our learning and our knowledge. And that transitioned into my becoming a realtor full-time for 20 years. And of course, I continued on with the real estate investing. And it's really created a lot of great opportunities in my life. And it doesn't have to be real estate for you. It could be starting a small cafe. It could be going for your teacher's certificate. It could be walking away from a corporate job that's sucking the life out of you and robbing you of all your time and all of your joy, or lugging a laptop home and not having quality time with your family. Or it could be just simple as going out and learning an instrument or taking up a hobby or something that really feeds your soul. It doesn't have to be some big, huge thing. But too many of us guys hold ourselves back. We are fearful of others' opinions. We are fearful of judgment and not being good enough. And I'm just here to tell you, we're all the same, guys. You'll find your resources. You'll find your friends. You'll find your opportunities. I can tell you that when I got going in the real estate, things started taking off. A lot of my friends who kind of mocked it in the beginning or thought it was, okay, Abbott's going to try to be Donald Trump, that sort of thing. I'm nowhere near that, obviously, but, they started to see signs of success or that I was actually doing what I said I was going to do. And I think that for them, more than anything else, impressed them and left a mark that, at least this guy's willing to get in the ring, give it a shot, get a little bit dirty, and take the blows and claim the victories when they're available, right? Or earn them. And I'm just challenging you to do the same thing. Life's short, guys. You only get so many opportunities. Just be smart enough to know when one's right in front of you. And if you can't see one, go out and create one. And there's no failing. There's just learning. There's just growing. There's so many awesome things that can come out of it. So I just wanted to share that with you today. If you're sitting there, worried about, I don't know the how, it doesn't matter. Just go out there, make it happen. Things will come to you. If you want to talk to me about how to go through the process from a mindset perspective, obviously I offer the Thinking to Results program. It's phenomenal. I am what I would consider to be a product of the product because I believe in it so strongly. And that's why I do what I do. I just love it, guys. Okay. So if you want to change your story, click on my Calendly link below. Let's have a great chat. Let's talk for 30 minutes. Share with me what you want to do. And if nothing more, we'll just have a great conversation and hopefully make new friends. Okay. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.